Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and those of the great millstone for teaching us the truth 100% securely. And I'd like to give a salutation to the Akim and Aqua who are listening and studying to start ourselves approved. All right, so this is another quick lesson. And this is I'm gonna title this one never trust thy enemy. All right, this is another reason why you should never trust thy enemy. Okay. So here's a Jake, and there's a post. The brother Abar Yahweh the 7. That's this page, and he actually posted it, and I actually reposted it on my page. And it was this Jake that was dealing with this Edomite woman. Okay, and this is why you should never trust thy enemy. This is a perfect example. All right. As he titled the post, he said Edomite woman almost set up Jake for Get Out Part 2. Okay. And if you ever seen the movie Get Out, you should understand where he's going with this. Okay. If you haven't seen it, it's a highly recommend go watch that movie. But I believe most people have seen that movie Get Out so far. But as you see, this is Jake, and this Jake was going through her phone. Okay. And I guess yeah, so he was going through her phone, and these are the text messages that popped up. Okay, you see this text message and said, I really enjoyed our night out, but I don't think my parents can find out about us." Okay, so this is his personal text message, all right, between her and the Edomite woman. He said, "Same here and why?" And he said, "They despise black guys. My last black boyfriend let let's just say it didn't go well. They literally set him up to be put in jail for life for something he didn't even do. Google, whatever the person's name is, Wellington, I really like you, but I don't want anything to happen to you." Okay? And so this right here, when she said, "I really like you, I don't want anything to happen to you," that's the serpent right there. That's the serpent right there. Okay? So this is Sirach chapter 12 and verse 2, and it says, "Never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness." Okay, and it said, "Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. Thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away." All right, and so this is that warning right here. All right, because she literally just said, uh, as if she cared about the dude's well being, but in the same breath, she let it be known that it was her doing because she the one to introduce the parent of the last guy. So she said she's in the mix as well too. All right. So she's actually doing the bidding of her parent. Okay. So she's just as guilty, and again, this is a serpent right here. This is that serpent we've been talking about in the scriptures. Uh And then so he responded and said, "I like you too." And yeah, that's crazy. I went to school with him. Maybe if you sat down and had a conversation with them, they'll loosen up. Think they would be down for dinner. And he said, "I'll ask, laugh out loud because I really like you, and I will not lose you." Okay. And they said, he said, "I don't want to lose you either." And okay, she responded back. Mom, stepdad said they would be down to meet you for lunch this evening. That's cool. Okay. Now this is the pictures that on a dinner date with brain surgeon parents kind of nervous. All right, so he said brain surgeon parents kind of nervous. So this stepdad probably is into that black market, man. I wouldn't doubt it. You can't put nothing past these devils, okay? So reading on in Sirach the 12th chapter, because a lot of these surgeons they have to get organs and stuff like that. Sirach chapter 12 and 12, and he said, "Set him not by thee, lest he have overthrow thee. He stand up in thy place, neither let him sit at thy right hand." When he said, "Let him sit at our right hand," that means a lot of time when people, say that this is my right hand man, this is basically a place of trust. And this is what it's saying right here. And don't put that man in a place of trust. All right. And it said, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou art at thy last end, remember my word, and be pricked therewith. In verse 13. Okay, so after all of that warning that you receive about these people, and you still did it anyway, this is why verse 13 said, who will pity the charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beast? Then it says, so one that it goes to a sinner and as defiled with him is in his sin, who will pity? Okay, so even after you had that warning, ain't nobody gonna pity you. Okay, and it's the same example. Shannon Sharp, the perfect example in this situation. Okay, Shannon Sharp, and nobody pities him because he had warning. All right, two people came on his podcast. We know who the two people was, and I'm sure he wasn't. They wasn't the only two. He probably had a lot some more warnings on top of that in secret. All right, so who would pity? Okay, so let's go into more of this post. See what else it said, right? So this is him going into the Edomite woman's phone. Okay, and he said he seems well put together, but it's something about him me and Jeff don't approve of. He seems like he will be good around the house for things we need, but not for a relationship. Try to convince him to start working for us, and once we take a trip to the mountain this summer, well, you know the rest. All right, so this right here, yeah, man, this is these damn devils are so diabolical. He said when you take a trip in the mountains in the summer, so the meaning they trying to convince him to go down there, and they gonna set him up. I like that like the fact that the stepdad is a brain surgeon. I wouldn't be surprised that he's in the black market and he harvests organs. Okay, that's my only explanation about what they actually be doing behind the scenes. And it remind me of those twins that got unalive in a sundown town here recently. Okay, and this what these devils be on. All right, and so the response that she said, "Mom, I really like him. Can I at least keep him? He's very sweet." Okay, so this is, man, and you got, and this is the little stuff like this is what irks me the most is we got people that's quote unquote in our nation that they try to come up against the Hebrew, like saying we preaching hate, but this is what they really think about us. Okay, all right, even the daughter, she said, "Mom, can I keep him like he's some goddamn pet or something?" All right, and basically in their mind, they really think us as 3/5 of a human being, going back into the old law, like when they try to say they abolished slavery, when that law that have not really fully been abolished. It really literally tells you that you're no longer 3/5 of a human being until you commit a crime. So in other words, that they still think that you're 3/5 of a human being. All right. And then the mom respond back in the text message that not at all. Dating black guy in the South, especially Mississippi, is not recommended. Do as you're instructed, please. You will find someone better. And she said, okay, I'll let him know that Jeff is hiring for work around the house. Then we will go from there. And he said, but he thinks you all are really nice people. She said, laugh out loud, and she said, good, we need him to continue thinking that. You see? And this is that the enemy speaks sweetly with his lip type of that's with that precept. Okay, so and then Jake pretty much said this is why I stopped dating outside my race. Would have been good setup, and to this day she still don't know that I saw the message in her phone because I left afterward and never said nothing else about it. Be careful out here, especially in Mississippi. Okay, so these are the ample warning, and this is another example of never trusting thy enemy. All right, and these devils are your enemy. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. These people right here is your main enemy. Okay. Verse 15, Sirach chapter 12, verse 15, it said, For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. And it said, verse 16, an enemy speaks sweetly with his lip, all right, And that goes back into with that woman when she was basically trying to make it seem like her parents is bad, but she say, "I don't want to lose you." That's the enemy speaking sweetly with the lip, and in this case, is by a woman with the pretending that she really likes him. All right, but in his heart, he imagined how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eye, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. All right. And to get the precept on this, enemy speaks sweetly with his lip. Psalm 55 and 21, the exact precept I was thinking about. All right. It said, the word of his mouth was smoother than butter, but what was in his heart? His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. You see that? So this is a perfect example, several scriptures to get into. Psalm 10 and 10, he crouched and humbled himself that the poor may fall by his strong ones. Okay? So these are the very people that the scriptures speak about, man. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go, Psalm 58 and 3. It said, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Okay? So all of these things were a web full of lies that you saw, especially through that text message and how they tried to set Jake up. Okay? But right here, I'm going back in Sirach chapter 12 and verse 16 again, because it says, an enemy speaks sweetly with his lip, but in his heart he imagined how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eye, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. Okay, so even in this case, with this Jake, let's say that hypothetically speaking, that Jake do decide to ignore all the warning, the red flag, and he go into the mountains with them. They gonna kill this individual, and they still won't be satisfied with his blood because what? The black market. They're gonna take his organs, harvest his organs, so on and so forth. That's him not being satisfied with him filling his blood. Instead, they're gonna take that body, his body part, and they're gonna sell it. Sell it on the black market, do whatever. That's an example of them not being satisfied with the spilling of his blood. Okay. So reading on in verse 17, if adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. Okay, and that's another example of these devils. They have their wicked tactic where they got order at KO. They create the chaos, all right, and then they establish the order. Okay, this is why you'll find them there first. They're gonna create the chaos, and then they're gonna come around and say, "I have a solution for this chaos." That's these devils. Okay, if adversity come upon thee, reading that again from the top. Ecclesiastica, aka Sirach 12 and 17, if adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet he shall undermine thee. He shake his head and clap his hand and whisper much and change his countenance. Okay, these devils are good at smiling. Okay, smiling in your face. All right. That's that old school song, smiley faces tell lies. That's these devils right here, man. That's what I believe that song was talking about. These damn white devils, all right? Esau is them so-called white man. That's what that song was about, man. Them devils, they're smiling in your face, but behind your back, they looking to take you down. All right. So that was just another quick lesson. Another quick lesson on never trusting our enemies, man. All right. This is an ample warning, and especially in the time of Jacob's trouble. All right, because these damn devils, they definitely gonna try every little tactic. As the scripture says, let Satan to get an advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices. Okay, that's 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and the 11th verse. Okay. So, that was just another quick lesson, man. Lord willing, it was edifying. With that, I'm going to give all praise and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone for teaching me the truth, teaching us the truth 100% securely. Shalom, shalom, Kwam Yashavala, shalom.